In the shadowy corridors of ancient history lies a text so mysterious and profound that it has captivated scholars, theologians, and seekers of truth for over 2 millennia. This is the story of the Book of Enoch, a forbidden scripture that dared to reveal the secrets of heaven and earth, only to vanish from the world for over 1,000 years before emerging from the highlands of Ethiopia to shake the foundations of biblical scholarship. Our journey begins with a figure shrouded in biblical mystery, Enoch, the seventh patriarch from Adam, great-grandfather of Noah. The Hebrew Bible offers us only tantalizing glimpses. Enoch walked with God, then he was no more because God took him away. But what if this brief mention concealed a far grander story? The Book of Enoch emerges from this enigma, claiming to be the first-hand account of a man who walked between worlds. Yet here lies our first great mystery. Scholars universally agree that this extraordinary text was not penned by the antediluvian patriarch himself, but by anonymous Jewish writers living centuries later between 300 and 200 BCE. This practice, known as pseudepigraphy, was common in ancient literature, attributing works to revered figures to lend them authority and gravitas. But why choose Enoch? Perhaps because his mysterious translation to heaven made him the perfect narrator for cosmic secrets and divine revelations. The original language of composition remains debated, likely Aramaic or Hebrew, as evidenced by fragments discovered among the famous Dead Sea Scrolls at Qumran. Yet fate would decree that the only complete version to survive the ravages of time would be preserved in Ge'ez, the classical language of Ethiopia, safeguarded by the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, through centuries when the rest of the world had forgotten this remarkable text entirely. The Book of Enoch is not a single work, but a literary symphony. 5 distinct compositions woven together over centuries, each contributing its unique voice to a grand theological narrative. This composite nature reflects the vibrant religious and intellectual ferment of the Second Temple period, when Jewish thought was expanding beyond traditional boundaries. Like a master craftsman assembling a mosaic, unknown editors gradually compiled these independent texts into what we now know as one Enoch. Each section bears the hallmarks of different authors, different eras, and different theological concerns, yet together they create a unified vision of cosmic drama that would influence religious thought for millennia. By the 5th century CE, the Book of Enoch had suffered a fate common to many ancient texts deemed too controversial or theologically problematic: exclusion from the biblical canon. While it had been revered by early Jewish communities and quoted by New Testament authors, changing theological winds saw it relegated to the shadows of religious history. Yet in the remote highlands of Ethiopia, something extraordinary was happening. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church, isolated from the theological debates raging elsewhere, continued to regard the Book of Enoch as sacred scripture. For over a millennium, Ethiopian monks and scholars preserved, copied, and studied this text while the rest of the world forgot its existence. The dramatic rediscovery came in the 18th century when European travellers and scholars encountered Ethiopian manuscripts containing this lost book. The excitement was palpable. Here was an ancient Jewish text quoted in the New Testament itself, returning from the dead to challenge and illuminate biblical scholarship. The 20th century brought even greater validation with the discovery of Aramaic fragments at Qumran among the Dead Sea Scrolls, confirming the text's ancient origins and its importance to Second Temple Judaism. Now we embark on the most extraordinary journey of all, into the contents of the Book of Enoch itself, a literary odyssey that spans heaven and earth, past and future, revealing secrets that were meant to remain hidden. Our journey begins with cosmic rebellion. The Book of the Watchers tells the shocking story of the Grigori, the Watchers, a group of angels who abandoned their heavenly posts to descend to earth. Driven by desire for human women, they took mortal wives and fathered the Nephilim, a race of giants whose very existence threatened the natural order. But their transgression went beyond mere lust. These fallen angels became humanity's first teachers of forbidden knowledge, revealing the secrets of metallurgy, cosmetics, astrology, and warfare. What the text presents is nothing less than an alternative origin story for human civilization, suggesting that our greatest advances came not from divine blessing, but from angelic rebellion. The consequences are catastrophic. God's judgment falls not only upon the Watchers, who are bound in darkness until the final judgment, but upon their giant offspring and the corrupted world they helped create. This narrative provides a theological explanation for the Great Flood, while establishing themes of cosmic justice that will resonate throughout the entire work. The second section transports us into the realm of apocalyptic vision. Through 3 elaborate parables, Enoch reveals the ultimate destiny of humanity and the cosmos. Here, we encounter one of the most significant figures in the entire text, the Son of Man, a messianic figure who will judge the world and establish God's eternal kingdom. These visions are remarkable for their detailed descriptions of the final judgment, the resurrection of the dead, and the establishment of a new heaven and earth. The parallels to later Christian apocalyptic literature are striking, suggesting that the Book of Enoch provided a crucial bridge between Jewish and Christian eschatological thought. Perhaps the most scientifically fascinating section is the astronomical book, where Enoch becomes humanity's first cosmic tour guide. Led by the angel Uriel, he journeys through the heavens, observing the precise movements of sun, moon, and stars. This isn't merely a poetic description, it's a sophisticated attempt to understand and systematize cosmic order. The text reveals an intense concern with calendrical accuracy, reflecting debates within Second Temple Judaism about proper religious observance. The 364-day solar calendar described here would later appear in other Jewish texts, suggesting an alternative to the lunar calendar used in mainstream Judaism. The fourth section presents history itself as a divine revelation. Through symbolic dreams filled with animals representing nations and individuals, Enoch recounts the entire sweep of Israelite history from creation to the anticipated Messianic age. This animal apocalypse is remarkable for its comprehensive scope and its interpretation of historical events as part of a divine plan. Bulls represent the patriarchs, sheep the people of Israel, and various predatory animals the nations that oppress them. The narrative culminates in the appearance of a white bull, likely representing the Messiah, who will establish God's eternal kingdom. The final section returns us to earth with urgent moral instruction. The Epistle of Enoch reads like a final testament, combining ethical exhortations with prophetic warnings about the fate awaiting the righteous and the wicked. Central to this section is the Apocalypse of Weeks, a remarkable timeline that divides all of history into 10 weeks, with the author's present time falling in the 7th week and the final consummation occurring in the 10th. This systematic approach to history as a predetermined divine plan would profoundly influence later apocalyptic thought. The influence of the Book of Enoch extends far beyond its ancient origins, creating ripples that continue to shape religious thought today. In the early centuries of Christianity, this text was revered by many as authentic scripture. The Epistle of Jude quotes it directly, and early church fathers like Clement of Alexandria and Tertullian treated it with respect. The book's impact on Christian theology is profound and often underappreciated. Concepts that we consider distinctly Christian, detailed angelology, the figure of the Son of Man, elaborate descriptions of heaven and hell, the resurrection of the dead, all find their earliest systematic development in the Book of Enoch. Yet this very influence may have contributed to its eventual rejection, as Christianity sought to establish its distinct identity and authority. Texts that were too closely associated with non-canonical Jewish traditions became suspect. By the 5th century, most Christian churches had excluded the Book of Enoch from their biblical canons. The modern rediscovery of the text has revolutionized our understanding of Second Temple Judaism and early Christianity. Scholars now recognize that the religious landscape of Jesus' time was far more diverse and complex than previously imagined, with the Book of Enoch representing one of the most significant voices in that rich theological conversation. Today, the Book of Enoch continues to fascinate readers far beyond academic circles. Its vivid imagery and profound themes speak to contemporary concerns about the nature of evil, the meaning of history, and humanity's place in the cosmos. The story of the Watchers, with its warning about forbidden knowledge and its consequences, resonates in an age grappling with the ethical implications of scientific advancement. The text's concern with cosmic order and divine justice speaks to those seeking meaning in an apparently chaotic world. For scholars of comparative religion, the Book of Enoch provides crucial insights into the development of apocalyptic thought across different traditions. Its influence can be traced not only in Judaism and Christianity, but in Islamic literature and even in modern popular culture. The Book of Enoch stands as a testament to the power of visionary literature to transcend the boundaries of time and culture. Born in the crucible of Second Temple Judaism, preserved by Ethiopian Christianity and rediscovered by modern scholarship, it represents one of humanity's most remarkable literary journeys. Whether we approach it as ancient literature, religious text, or historical document, the Book of Enoch continues to challenge our understanding of the ancient world and our place within the cosmic drama it so vividly describes. In its pages, we encounter not just the religious imagination of our ancestors, but timeless questions about good and evil, divine justice, and human destiny that remain as relevant today as they were over 2 millennia ago. The Book of Enoch reminds us that some mysteries are worth preserving, some visions too powerful to be forgotten, and some truths too important to remain hidden. In rediscovering this ancient text, we rediscover something essential about the human quest for meaning and our eternal desire to understand our place in the vast cosmos that surrounds us.